We continue from page 37. After we took our evening meals, we will bit about stories. From Mama Chemtaib's house, and then now that we've been talking about Lusaka, and then we also talked about Wangamati, also being a member of the Mlembe house, whose idea he always spoke of Bakpana words and ideas that we bought, and whose ideas actually came on time, that no one will dispute over the kind of a leadership that will see us through River Jordan to the promised land of Canaan, full of honey and milk. That way we bought his idea. How about Njoroke, who was a stranger in our house, but also being our neighbor? Njoroke being the son of Kamau, he also had friends with the native Bukusu people. Now that they were friendly, sometimes they could dish out things from the shop. He actually pulled down the entire shop of his father. He never sold items for a profit, but kept dishing out goodies for his friend. The likes of Moses will not drink mkafu. Mkafu is a sugarless tea in our language. Therefore, whenever he requires something for the tea, he will run by to Njoroke, and Njoroke will steal something from his father's shop and hand it over to his friend. Njoroke actually brought down the stock of his father's shop to its knees, destabilized what behold the economy of their family livelihood. After all, his father was busy with chemutai to find time and go through the stock sheets. Njoroke, later on, he found a government job in the treasury and secured himself a nice secretarial position. He became the chief executive officer for the Central Bank of Kenya. A good job for that matter. A signatory for the senior basket of the country, and thus, sooner or later, will be appointed the board chairman. That way, that was a slot actually meant for the Agikuyu boys. In our national slot, that slot was actually meant for the Agikuyu boys. Now, this was a brief history in our village and how people developed to become, later on, even to the national level. Now, when we continue our story in the village, now that everybody was full after we have taken our meal in Mama Chemtai's house, we began talks that kept us laughing all through the night. Such evening stories that we beat about was Moses, who happened to be the loudest, cracked jokes and that left all of us gasping for air. He cracked our bones and choked our throats after our stomachs were full and would not take in any more particles. Mother Chemutai eyes began falling once and again. She had applied eye pencil on her eyebrows, and thus very easily someone would not have falling eyelids. Maybe she wanted to cover her eyes a little bit and get some rest after spending a whole night dancing for the Marumbini tunes. She had not slept for the previous night and became restless. Someone had kept her busy all night. She had not been found within for some days, even to our father's main house. She was busy somewhere. Now she began falling into a deeper sleep. Her top abdomen, that's the lower when it comes to the hips downwards, the top part was intact, but the lower abdomen, that's the hips and the legs, had a problem. She was exhaustedly tired, and she tried hard to remain awake, but she began to succumb to a deep sleep. Her lower abdomen became loose. She left her legs apart. Slowly but slowly, the bath widened. Everybody could see the natural and physical features found in that vital point. I wondered where she had left her pants. Now that Moses was on the high peak of the storytelling ceremony, he found himself dumb, keenly observing. At some point. I directed my eyes towards the point of concern and realized he had seen places of his interest. You can imagine, he had begun salivating and perspiring. His breath changed and heartbeat could be heard. If I won't save the situation, something awful would have happened. He cannot miss to jump off her. Even if she was her mother, he will likely jump off her. To avoid public humiliation, I had to save chemutai from someone easily enticed with such obscene areas. I tiptoed and knocked Mother Chemutai by her forehead. She will not wake. Softly, I slapped on her soft cheek. She felt nice and turned over for the other side. I thought of a hard slap. She never woke up again. Rafa picked some water and let droplets sprinkle over her chest. A cold chill touched on her breast. She bounced back to life. Hey boy, what do you think you are about to do? You want to kill your mother? She smarted from her sleep, smiled as she had felt it all again. I got felt nice. No, ma'am. You better cover up your legs. Your dress is about to fall. I tried to console with her the need to prioritize her belongings. Foolish boy, many people admire just to have a glimpse of such places, and here you are frightened with the beauty of a woman. Don't you know your fathers are aging? You need to grow up quick and take up your father's responsibilities. The earlier the better. She refuted back to as though we had interfered with her pleasure moment. Zakayo never minded such a stupid episode. He had his hand on Isiriri and fine-tuned to find the favorite sound. My hand itches whenever I see strings. He said as he pleasured himself with such things. He developed the talents and lived in the world of talents. Thank you. That is now the end of chapter 1.